guys, what's up? It's Sachika. Welcome to my channel where I do art, student and lifestyle content. I hope you're having an amazing day. If you can hear my fan, which is really loud, which is because it's going so fast, that tells you how hot it is and how much I regret wearing a full sleeve, kind of on the thicker side t-shirt today, and that I am an idiot. So today is a story time video, which I'm very excited about. If you clicked on this video, obviously you can tell by the title, and it has not been fun. This is about the time, this happened way back in November when I flew back from London to India, which by the way, me flying back to London may get postponed to like March or something, which like, what are these people doing over there? The cases keep increasing. The country's been in lockdown for like 2 months now. Like, get your act together, people. What is wrong with you? But apart from that, I'm doing okay. The workload is increasing by the second, but I love it, which is so strange to say because like, but I love it. And I'm actually starting to love drawing and art again and designing and conceptualizing, which is amazing for me. But that has nothing to do with this video. I don't know why I went on that tangent, and yeah, let's get into it. So I just wanted to have a chill time with you guys today and just do a story time video. So if you're watching this, grab a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you like. I prefer coffee, by the way, only cold. I hate hot coffee. Grab a snack or something if you're into that. Grab a soda and just continue watching, I guess. So let's start with when the plans were made. So for the longest time, I wasn't supposed to come back here for the Christmas break, and that was because my classes were going to end on the 18th of December and they were going to start back up on the 4th of January. And in a normal time, that would be okay. It's like 3 weeks off, and I could come back easily and spend 3 weeks with my family and fly back and start classes on the 4th. But the issue is the quarantine period. The quarantine period itself is 2 weeks. So coming here and quarantine for 2 weeks or going back and quarantine for 2 weeks, that's more than my break allowed anyway. And so I was not planning on coming back this year. I had made this thing with my parents where, you see my hair, I had decided with my parents that it was not worth it, and also that it would be best if I just stayed there and just kind of, you know, we just decided that it wasn't worth it for any kind of thing, right? Then my course leader announced that we would actually stop in-person classes. That's the blended learning thing that UAL is doing. We would stop in-person classes by the 26th of November, and then it would be online till the 18th, and then it would start back up on the 4th. So then the plan was, when I told that to this was announced on like the 20th, when I told that to my parents were like, you are coming back, you know, you have a month, you can easily quarantine here, go back, quarantine there. And they made it very clear, UAL, that I had to be back by the 21st of December so that I could finish quarantine by the 4th and I could rejoin classes by the 4th, right? So that made sense. So when we booked tickets, my mom booked my ticket for the 27th of November to come here and the 21st of December to fly back. And that was like great. I was reluctant because I didn't want to quarantine so much because I had already been in isolation twice and it is not fun. But I guess if I could come back to India and go back, I would have been okay with it, right? And so we booked a flight coming here for the 27th and going back for the 21st. Okay, now comes on the 26th an email from British Airways saying you have to get tested for COVID before coming back to India, because Mumbai made those routes on their side on those routes for people flying in. And so you have to get tested, and obviously the laws are that if you get tested, you have to self-isolate till you get your result, because in the UK you can only get tested if you have symptoms. Even if you fake symptoms, they don't know that. So they ask you to self-isolate till your results come out. And usually those results take 48 hours. Suddenly on the 26th, we received this email saying you have to go get tested, or you have to come here and self-isolate for 2 weeks in a hotel that the government had arranged. And we were all just like, well, there's nothing we can do because I'm not gonna have to get I can't get the test over here because otherwise I can't fly. So what I lose, I'll just self-isolate or whatever. Then, okay, the rules were so weird. So it said you get tested and you fly back and you're good. Or you come here, you get tested, self-isolate for 7 days because that's when symptoms usually show up. If no symptoms, then you can go. Or come here and isolate for 14 days. Now, they were all weird because they all overlapped and they didn't say either or in the document. It was an official document and it didn't say this or this or this. It said this, and I'm like, do I have to do all three? What's going on? Technically, it's not possible to do all three. Even if you get tested, you're let go. If you come here and get tested, you're let go after 7 days, but you still have to isolate for 1. It was just weird, right? So I was so confused. But obviously in the UK, I didn't get tested because then I wouldn't have been able to fly. So comes the day of the flight. I fly back to India. We come here, whatever. So basically at the airport, you know, I'm like leaving the flight, whatever. They give us a form that we have to fill out and so on and so forth, right? So then it was really unclear, even at the airport after I had landed, somebody said, oh, you just fill out this form that you don't have any symptoms and that you're going out at your own risk and that you're going to self-isolate for 14 days and you're going to quarantine for 14 days in a personal space like your house, and that's it. And I was like, that's perfect, I'm coming home anyway, I have classes for 2 weeks anyway, so it doesn't matter, and it'll all be done by the time I just even finish classes, and I'll just be at home for it, and that's okay. And then I leave the airport, and I leave the terminal, and I'm like heading out the airport, and I go to the counter with to show the form, and that guy looks at my phone and he's like, where's your COVID test? And I'm just like, I don't have one. And he was like, oh, you have to get one. And I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to get a COVID test right now? And so then he says, oh, I just head to the outside of the airport and there's a COVID test over there, and yeah, you're good. And I was like, okay, maybe it's a thing where I have to get a COVID test and I have to self-isolate for 7 days and then I can go home. And I was like, okay, that's fine, I can do that. So one of my parents' friends had told, in the meantime, called them up and said, oh, they're asking to get a test, and the results will come in like 2 days, like in London, and you just have to self-isolate till your test comes back negative. I was like, okay, fine, that's fine, you know, they gave me a hotel room, I can attend my classes. I go, I pay for the test, it's not free over here, I pay for the test, I get tested, and they say you have to wait right here in the airport lounge for 10 hours till your test results come. And I'm staring at them like, what did you just say? And so there's no hotel, no bed. This is 2 a.m. Yeah, I had landed at approximately like 2 a.m. or something. No, I had landed at 12. I got there at 2 and I got tested at 2 a.m. I'm just like, you expect me to wait here till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for my test result? Why? And so then they were like, oh, we have a lounge area. You can pay an extra like $2,500, which by the way is £25 for any of the people watching from the UK. And you can use the lounge and you can stay the night at the lounge. There are snacks and stuff. Now, because of my diet, all of that, I couldn't eat any of the snacks that they had, but that's a separate issue, right? That's just an issue for me, not for everybody else. But basically there are these like couches over there, and they're not even like good comfortable couches, right? They're just like, it was just like chairs which you had to sit on, and I was like, shit, I have work to do. Am I gonna have to sit here for 8 hours? And so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna fish out my laptop and I'm gonna work on my laptop and work on my work. Fine. The only saving grace for this entire thing was that they had Wi-Fi for the people using the lounge. But apart from that, so you go to the COVID test area. I know this is seeming really haphazard, but you go to the COVID test area, and basically in my head I'm thinking I'm literally more likely to get COVID in this line than I am to have had it from before. The line, it's like people don't understand social distancing here. Like, it's so weird. Like, you're literally getting tested for COVID. Would you not keep a 2-meter distance of some kind, or any distance? People weren't even keeping the distance of the width of a bag. Like, everyone was just smushed together and, you know, like just waiting there. And, you know, every time I would try to distance myself, someone else from behind would push me forward, and it was just such a big mess, and everyone was just sticking to me, and I was literally like, I'm more likely to get COVID over here than I am to get it any other place. But fine, I mean, you don't touch the person, you're always wearing a mask, okay? So there's some kind of precaution. The people working over there from the lab, only the people who were taking the actual test, like the doctors, they were the only people in PPE suits. And even those suits were like not good enough. I know because my parents have their own PPE suits, but those suits were not good enough, trust me. Especially when you're working in close quarters with someone, obviously we're getting tested to test if we have COVID from outside. So obviously there is a suspicion that we have COVID. Like, what is going on? And so these guys, they are not wearing adequate PPE suits, just even for themselves. I mean, first of all, you're testing so many people. So if you have it, you can spread it to everyone. And apart from that, just keep yourself safe. Like, what the hell? And nobody else, no one at the counter, none of the other nurses, nobody working there had PPE suits. They were all constantly exchanging money and stuff and in close contact with the people who were getting tested. And I'm just like, well, what the hell? And I was trying my level best to keep away from people. Like, even after I got tested and I went to the lounge, I literally chose the sofa away from everyone else, and maybe people looked at me and thought, what's this guy doing? But I didn't care. I'm gonna keep myself safe and stay away from you. And that was my like mentality the entire time. I was like, I don't need COVID again, and I'm literally more likely to get it here than I am to get it anywhere else. Now, keep in mind again, 2 a.m. So after all this is done, it's 3 a.m. already, and I'm not tired at all because I'm frustrated and out of my mind, and I have to wait there for at least another 7 hours. So I sit down, settle myself down on that, and I'm constantly afraid that someone's going to take my stuff. I had like money in there and my passport and stuff. Like, I was constantly like, I need to keep this protected, and for that reason too, I didn't sleep, because I was like, yeah, no. So it's 3 a.m. and I realized that I have work to do, so I settled myself down and I started work. Now, obviously, I haven't slept on the flight because it was a morning flight from London, and so I'm suddenly like, oh shit, because I was expecting to land at night and come home and sleep in my warm, comfortable bed, but I couldn't do that. So suddenly I'm stuck in a cold airport with an uncomfortable chair that I'm sitting on. I have to stay alert because I'm scared people will take my stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. And so I start work. Then finally at 6:30 I finished work, and I was like, you know what? It's 6:30 a.m. Nothing's gonna happen. So I hide my bags away in the corner, and then I just lay down on the chair as long as I can, and I go to sleep. And I sleep for an hour, maybe an hour, and then I wake up at 7 and I'm just like, shit. And no, I didn't lose anything, everything came back safe with me, but I was just like, oh shit, I slept for an hour. And so then I go check, I'm like, have my results come in? She was like, no. So I'm roaming around, hungry, tired, and uncomfortable at an airport. And best part is I hadn't carried any Indian cash with me. I left in such a hurry that I left all my Indian cash in my room in the UK. And so I had pounds and I had my debit card, but I didn't have anything else. And so suddenly I was like, okay, I don't have any money, I'm at the airport, I'm waiting for my parents, and my test hasn't come in, so I can't leave, and I don't know what to do. And another like cherry on top of the cake, I had forgotten my Indian SIM card in London. I just had my UK SIM card, and it was charging me like £1 for every text, and that's insanely expensive. Like, what the hell? And I was like, oh my god, I can't use this and I don't know what to do. So yeah, eventually of course my test came in, and the second it came in, I grabbed the report and left and came home and ate and slept, and I had class in the evening, and it was a big mess. But that was basically the story of me flying back from London to India, it was such a mess. I was so frustrated. I was yelling and screaming and annoyed, and like I didn't talk to my friends for 2 days because I was just like, I can't deal with people right now. And even every time I tell this story, I'm just so frustrated with what happened. Like, would it really kill you to tell me when I booked the tickets, like going at a COVID test like now? And I was just like, ugh. Okay, anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like and a comment about what you thought about my awful experience coming back in this pandemic. Not that I can expect any better, but maybe a little bit of notice or something would have been nice. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Which is really like blah. And then someone the people. So suddenly it's like I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so